Okay, take a deep breath. Jay, is that really you?
What?
Hi, Jay.
Hi. How are
I
you,
was just
darling?
telling these lovely people that are on this webinar, we're just waiting for the rest of the crew to climb on, how wonderful you are and how much I resonate with you. And once these folks on here find out what you're doing, they're going to be over the top, and especially about your coin. They can't wait to hear all about it.
Oh, awesome. I hope my internet's okay. I live in the boonies, as I shared at the moment. We've just moved on to a plot of land out here, and it's wonderful, but it is definitely, out of the zone of internet. We have internet, it's just not great. So I fingers crossed it's good. So I'm just going to keep my video off for now, just to make sure that the internet's good. And then if that's cool with you, I'll crack it open if I think I've got a good connection.
Absolutely. And we would love to see your video. Of course, right now we can only see your logo. This
Yeah.
webinar is going to be recorded, and basically the theme is of people of this community to get to know one another. So we still have a few minutes to go until 7 o'clock. And we started this webinar series about 3 weeks ago. We have already 46 people, lucky number, 46 people in our Telegram chat, 46 people subscribed to our YouTube channel. And then on Facebook, we have quite a few, probably over 200. And then LinkedIn, of course, I have 10,000 followers. And Robert, who will be on later, has 133,000 followers on Facebook. But we're also looking to expand to TikTok and looking for somebody to lead that specific area for our social media, and always looking for collaborators. And I won't do a business presentation tonight because I really want tonight to be more heart-centered and people sharing a bit about who they are, their why this business model of collaboration and creativity and coming together and helping one another for the greater good actually resonates with people a lot more than just a business contract, or resonates more than just selling somebody something. We want to create a movement, and I know that Jay is already creating that movement. I would love it if you could put your video on so we can see your beautiful, smiling, loving face as well, because it's a lot more personable, but I know that you're in a remote area, so totally respect this.
Well, the problem too with, like, if in a remote area, you can go over bandwidth, so you can limit basically your internet speed. So that's one thing, is just to be sparse on the internet. I've had to be there too.
That's okay. I just noticed now that there's a lot more people logging on.
If I was still in Dawson Creek, I'd be switching to Starlink and try that. A lot of people were very happy with the results so far.
Patrice, did you want to kick this off and maybe introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you are, your why, and also about why you decided to join this community and what your experience has been so far?
Okay, well, my name is Patrice Villeneuve. I'm self-employed. I have a graphic design and print company, and have been doing that as my bread and butter for over 35 years. But my main passions are nutrition and personal healing, as well as organic permaculture farming are some of my passions. Along the journey, I've come across a lot of wonderful people. Caleb Johnson is one of my best friends, and we are venturing together and building energy solutions for a lot of people who want to be off the grid with permaculture and those farms or any other kinds of means, because the technology is just incredible. So that's one of the passions that involves me in the background, as well as working with Melany and meeting all these wonderful people that are like-minded, that are all looking for a greater change in this world for a better place. I think since the world's been turned upside down, all of us are looking now to how can we fix what is blatantly apparent as a problem in our societies and our culture, and really build a future that looks brighter for us and future generations down the line. What small step can we take in the right direction to leave a legacy behind that will be positive for everyone? behind us. And that's really, all of us are seekers, and it's a matter of just connecting minds to help build a better future for all of us. So I'm sure everybody here's got a little bit. We look forward to hearing everybody's little secrets or goals or dreams, aspirations, or plans that they may have in the works, because they're all important, and you really got to work towards your dreams and aspirations in life. And it's surprising how many people can actually support you or find, how can we say, relatable matter that really unites these goals into something that can actually materialize sooner than later. So I don't have much more on that intro, but really, I'm really happy to be here. There are always great people that come on, and we're making great connections and strides as we go along. As these meetings progress, the next few meetings, it'll probably be start to actualize some of the great solutions that have come about through these meetings, and we'll see what can develop. So I'm actually quite excited, and Melany, I can't thank you enough for hosting all these events. You're tirelessly working constantly to bring people together,
Totally.
and it's a wonderful experience to witness you in action.
You know
Thank you.
what? Thank you so much. You know what? I'm definitely a master connector. I always have been. I think a lot of the people on this call have experienced my energy at one of my live events, which I used to host consistently in Vancouver before I couldn't do that regular line of work anymore. And I had to literally recreate a new version of myself that exists in an online format. And Patrice has played an intricate part in that, because he helped me to pivot and create a beautiful plethora of gorgeous flyers, marketing materials, bringing ideas to life, these concepts. The flyer that was created today for this event was actually created by Patrice, and it stemmed from an idea that I had. I said, we've got to change the flavor of this webinar. It can't be so sales and business oriented. It has to be more about community and more about what can we do together to collaborate. So for folks that missed the webinar last week, we actually had a lot of guest speakers on from many different industries, a lot of talk about new energy projects and projects that are actually good for the environment, which I know a lot of the folks on here really truly care about the environment. So the culture stays the same, the community stays the same, but the topics will change week to week. So for example, some of the topics we will have are health and wellness, finances, so basically an overview of what's happening in the economy, updates on real estate. I see that Andrew Lyons is on here, and he's definitely somebody that's an expert in that area. Learning about how we can help entrepreneurs get their projects funded, bridging the gap between an entrepreneur who has a really good project and connecting them with the right investor. People that are on here for self-empowerment and also for their mental health. So people that are in need of coaches, life coaches. I know that Kathleen is an absolutely fantastic life coach that has come on tonight, joining us actually when it's probably her bedtime where she lives, just to introduce herself. And then of course, like-minded powerhouse women from all different walks of life, and also collaborators such as Jay, who's joining us right now from the Okanagan Valley, from her farmland, her beautiful farmland. Oh, there she is. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. And also people that have started their own charities, people that have created their own, that are inventors, that have brilliant projects that have to be of benefit to the world. So the theme is kind of people, planet, prosperity, but it's continuing to evolve and take flight and grow wings of its own. Digital Eagle is always going to be the sponsor of this because it stemmed from Digital Eagle, which is a marketing company that had to literally pivot and grow new wings during COVID-19. And why is it the eagle? Because eagles lose their talons after 40 years of life, and they have to become even more skillful hunters until their new sets of talons grow back. There's videos about this on the internet, so I'm not going to go into heavy details, but eagles go through a lot in their lifetime and they never falter. They're strong, powerful birds. and they know exactly what they want and they know how to get it and they just go after it. And this is what I saw when I wanted to create something like this, is I had a vision and I wanted to create a collaboration nation. And I just saw this vision and I just went for it. I knew somebody's got to take the lead. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody has to cultivate an environment where people feel comfortable sharing, but an environment where people can get help in all different walks of life. So I just went for it and it's continuing to unravel. Those are my two bits. I know that Kathleen's joining us from Alberta, so I think that I will give you the microphone next, Kathleen. We're basically keeping the theme open mic tonight. Everyone's speaking for about 5-10 minutes, keeping it short and sweet, but basically introducing yourself to the community, your why, and how we can support you, and also what you've enjoyed about this so far too.
Right, and it's Ontario. When you said Alberta.
Ontario, my apologies. It's been a really long 24 hours.
No worries. So hello everyone, and some people I do recognize from a night that I was on a couple weeks ago, and there's some new faces, so it's really good to be here again. And I love meeting new people, and I love connecting with like-minded, like-hearted people. And my name is, as you can see, it's Kathleen Woodington, and I'm an empowerment coach and a wellness pro and a yoga teacher. And I work with women, and I work with women that experience a lot of stress, and they are high achievers, and they also may experience fatigue and or depression. And I help them to create more ease, energy, and enthusiasm in their life and in their business. And my big why, or my big vision, is to really, you know, share my message, which is really the foundation of mind, body, soul, and creating that wellness model so that it's just natural for everybody to be in that energy of thrive. So my secret mission is to get people addicted to feeling good, and that is just the norm. So feeling good, feeling energized, and that health and wealth is our birthright. And I really see that for all of us. So anything that I can do to support people in, you know, going from surviving into thriving and having that wealth and that wellness, that's what I'm all about. And that is my vision. And I really see myself as one of millions of what I call the founders of the new earth, and that we are here to be creators and to really create what it is that we want to see on the new earth in terms of all the different, you know, in terms of education, in terms of how we live, how we source our food, how we connect with our food, how we connect with others. And I just feel really honored to be that. And I really want to step up more into that role. And was there anything else that I was supposed to add to that, Melanie? You said your why, your...
Just what you've enjoyed. I think you kind of covered it, but what you've enjoyed about this webinar that happens every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific
Yeah, and
Standard.
I've only been to one before, and I know that I really, when I was here, I really, what I really enjoyed about it was just learning about new, new innovations. The people that were here were just so creative, and just the desire that they had to actually make a difference on the planet. That's what really inspired me. And I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the mic to start off. And yeah, do I pick somebody else to go next, or is that what you're doing next?
You could, if you wish to do it that way, or if anybody just wants to be bold and just jump up or type their name in the chat, raise a hand, whatever you feel.
All right. Jillian, do you want to go next?
Is it? Okay. Let's just see here. Can you hear me, Kathleen?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, it's a real pleasure to be here. I'm very honored and grateful for finding an empowerment and leadership, and I think community that is about an evolving consciousness that is taking place on the planet. And it needs to be cultivated and nurtured and tended with a lot of heart and soul, because all of us have dreams. We are all creators. And I think this is the time of such a profound opening into that creative matrix. So, and it comes through collaboration. That is the grounded root of our connection with humanity. So I am a registered massage therapist. I am a healer. I work a holistic, integrated frame that I apply and share with my clients. And I'm really looking, my dream is to connect more on the land in a permaculture farm where I cultivate my connection, deepen it with the Great Mother, and also contribute in building a collaborative, holistic retreat center where the public, the greater public, can come and experience all kinds of mixed media modalities and healing processes that integrate nutrition, health, wellness, physiology, energy, psychology, and community. And what I've enjoyed is just connecting here with such a beautiful, open, and receptive community to sharing, and just the act of connecting is quite rare on our soil here, to find people that are actually receptive to sharing a more collaborative approach. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Excellent. We're all in this together, and it's nice to see somebody else who knows about permaculture and is into it. It really is I always think that there's agriculture and then there's restorative agriculture, and that's restorative.
Yes, 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 thank you.
I also noticed that Andrew Lyons is on for the first time. Welcome, Andrew. And also Sherry came back again. Welcome again, Sherry. I know that Wendy said she was ready to go next. So Wendy, why don't you go ahead? And then anyone else who wants to go after Wendy, please put your name in the chat so that we can keep a streamlined order. And of course, be respectful that maybe 5-10 minutes and then we pass it along. I think that would be a good flow. So Wendy, did you want to go ahead? And then what we'll do is we'll look for names in the chat group of who would like to go next after Wendy. I think Sherry said she would love to.
Sounds good.
Of course, putting your hands up and any time.
All right, so my name is Wendy Jo Kennedy. Some of you may have met me before. I see some familiar faces on here. I see some that don't, so I'll just give a brief intro on myself. I have many different hats that I wear, and when I think about like explaining who I am or what I am or what I want to do, I think that I just kind of start with the things that get me, that I feel passionate about. And like Jillian, I am also a registered massage therapist. I've done many different things. I'm about 55 years old. Oh, I am 55, but I act like I'm 20 sometimes, but that's a whole other topic. And that's just what health is about, like energy, right? Feeling good about our lives. Like we were born into this world to feel good, but somewhere along the line, you know, stuff happens, and unfortunately, you know, maybe our health isn't at its peak. And I like to help people feel their best in many different ways. I consider myself a healthpreneur, and I've talked before about one of my other passions, which is the environment. I also have a small business that I started, and I'm a very creative person, and I feel quite passionate about the connection between the two, the earth and the environment. Is like, how can we be healthy if the food that we're eating and the things that we're putting in our body or the environment that are around, whether it be the air, people, you name it, they're dually connected. There's a bridge. You can't, some people think that health means going and getting a personal trainer and having, you know, a six-pack. Well, that's fine. That's good. I encourage you to do whatever your vision of health is, but my vision is very holistic, like Jillian's, and I think it goes deeper. And I'm pretty excited to share with you tonight that I actually decided to get some more certification for myself. I'm going to be training under Dr. Daniel Ammon, who's a psychiatrist out of the States, and his partner, Joseph McLennan III, who is a business strategist, kind of like Tony Robbins. He works with Tony Robbins, and the two of them have put together a brain health program. And I decided today that I think that for health, you know, I've done a lot with the body, obviously being an RMT, but I think that there's a direct connection too, that to have whole health, we need to be thinking about what's going on up here as well. So those are some of the new things that I'm working on. I definitely feel very passionate about this group. I've known Melany for some time, and I think that, you know, getting any group, whether it's, you know, somebody that's interested in, you know, restoring cars to the environment, when you have a group of people that collaborate and come together in community, great things can happen. And this is definitely a place for that. Next.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. Yeah.
Excellent.
Really appreciate it. And it's nice to see your journey unfolding, and of course your why and your purpose as well. And thank you again for opening your heart. And also, this whole platform is continuing to evolve. And I find that, do you want to hear something interesting that I've observed over the last few weeks? It's almost like it's evolving with what's happening with people's thoughts around it. So it's interesting, as I see a lot of people on here tonight that have similar ways of thinking and what they're already doing in the world. So it's time to really connect and collaborate and we're all conscious. And I do believe that we are connected through our thoughts. And I'm meeting somebody tomorrow actually that created an app for healing, who you probably know him, Andrew Resmer. He owns Conscious Living Radio. He developed an app where people can actually meditate at the same time of the day, and their vibrational energy will go out to the universe. Because I know we're on our computers and our cell phones way too much. And I got really sick from living in a tower in Vancouver, because energetically, I'm not supposed to be living in a cement box with 5G and all these different signals. So I found that since I've moved back to my country, back to my roots, my health is starting to improve. So these are different observations that I'm noticing. Now, tonight's webinar is really a chance for all of us to get to know each other. And I know that Sherry wanted to go next, so we're going to just keep the flow going here. Sherry, if you wanted to say a few words about what you've experienced so far, your why, project that you're working on, and how the community can support you. And if anybody else would like to go after Sherry, please let's keep the flow going. Maybe type your name in the chat, raise your hand if you're feeling inspired, and we'll just keep this going. Thank you, Sherry.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to be here tonight. My name is Sherry White, and I have a company called Steadfast Developments. I'm the CEO of the company. We are a social justice land developer focused on ending poverty in the downtown East Side through affordable housing. But what I say a lot is that we're not just trying to end poverty, but we are trying to prevent and impact the cycle of poverty, particularly for women and children in the neighborhood. I've lived in the neighborhood for 18 years. This is home. I gave birth twice to two of my 4 kids at St. Paul's, and I brought them to this neighborhood, and they've never known anything else. This is where I chose to raise my family, because I really wanted my kids to know and experience. I didn't want them to be afraid of people that look different. And I wanted to model that we need to share what we have. It doesn't matter how little or how much, we just need to share what we have with others. And that included our house, our community, that sort of thing. So I've been in the neighborhood. My office is also in the neighborhood, and I've worked here for 18 years. And so who better to do a revitalization project than someone who knows the partners and knows the neighbors and what they're talking about on the streets and what they need. I do definitely honor the government in trying to make a difference in this neighborhood, but if you come and you parachute in and make changes without really consulting what's needed, and you do it from a housing first perspective instead of a community first perspective, then the neighborhood's just not going to change. And we see evidence of that as housing is constantly being provided in this neighborhood by government, but the emphasis on community is definitely lacking. Anyways, all of that to say, I'm also a visionary, and I definitely see a vision of what it looks like to revitalize a neighborhood. And I've done a lot of research in the area of successful revitalization projects. And so our company, Steadfast Developments, is on a large campaign to completely revitalize the neighborhood so that in 5 to 10 years, it'll be known as a safe place for kids to walk to school with their parents without seeing people shoot up in the alleys. And we have a strategy around how to do that. So we're a holistic company. We aren't just about building affordable housing, but we have strategies in place and around affordable housing, intentional community development, and social enterprise. All of these things need to happen at the same time, not siloed, in order to see the change that is needed in this neighborhood. So with that, Steadfast Developments has 10 properties that we're looking to purchase and develop. And right now we have momentum on 2 of those, one on Powell Street and one on Hastings Street. The one on Hastings Street has really taken off. And we are trying to close on our very first piece of property out of the 11 pieces of property for that mass assembly on Hastings Street. And we were supposed to close yesterday, but thank God we got an extension until next week. And I'm just believing that it's all going to fall in place. There have been lots of ups and downs, as there is in real estate, lots of last minute changes. And I think as a developer, you need to be able to deal with those unexpected changes and keep working to make it happen. So that's a little bit of my why. I think my why is in there because this is my neighborhood. I care about my neighbors. I want to see justice. I think justice being the idea of being fair. I think everyone should have the right to housing. I don't know if I was reading an article in the news today about the SROs and the disgusting things that people are living in, with rats coming to bite them in the middle of the night, and cockroaches falling from roofs. And, that's just not okay. And so our company wants to do something about that. So how can the community help? We have a strong development team that has no problem carrying these projects across the finish line. I am focused on that North Star to get the project done. I think I'm a strong leader and I'm full of tenacity. So I will see these projects through to the end. So we have and we have a great board of advisors. We got the people, it's always the funds. And so I'm fortunate to say I do have some strong financial backing, but we are always open to more, especially in the private sector. So if you know of someone that would like to participate and journey along financially, but not just financially, it's not like just throw your money in and leave, but be a part of an exciting project, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry, for sharing. And it's definitely an amazing project that you have going on. And I know that Andrew Lyons has also been helping you. And so congratulations. And I know that you're going to definitely be the leader in that. And also for creating a beautiful legacy and also teaching. Your children must just absolutely adore you because you're definitely setting a good example in the world. And I mean, who does this? I mean, you could be doing regular real estate. So I take my hat off to you. I feel like connected to your project. I know we met on LinkedIn through a random message, but I always say there are no mistakes. when it's your time to connect with somebody, the stars will align, and really the people that are supposed to be working with you will come to you, will be with you, will support you, and will also not just care about their own selfish needs and wants, but will actually really support your project too, which is another reason why I wanted to create this kind of community. So thank you again for sharing, and I can't wait to see your project at end result, and even take a trip down to the east side and visit there, because it's really amazing that what you're doing. And just so you guys know, this webinar is recorded. My goal is for everybody to come on tonight and to have a chance to get to know one another. And I built this because I really miss my events. I used to put on gorgeous events in Vancouver, and I brought everyone together. I poured them wine, I made them delicious food. I had souvenirs at every single one of my event. If it was a cryptocurrency or a Bitcoin event, chances are every single person got one of these coins as a gift from me. And every single person that I ever worked with in any capacity at any of the events that when they came to the North Vancouver and to the oceanfront room where we had all these meetings, they were all given prizes for, you know, just participating and bringing guests, and for even bringing somebody that we could help their life change. Like we did a fundraiser to actually raise money for Joy's sister because she's been extremely sick in the hospital. And so we tried to raise funds for her. Those are some of the initiatives that we did back in the day. It seems like so long ago now, but like before COVID-19 and before the pandemic, we were having all these amazing events and bringing people together. But now I can do what I do best, but do it on here and collaborate with other ladies and gentlemen from all different walks of business and leaders stepping up at this time to help give people hope and to also inspire others and empower others and to really support you on your journey. So thank you again to everyone so far that has shared. We're going to move along. I know that Caleb wanted to share about his energy project. And I know that after Caleb, Lou had his hand up and he's been eager to share as well. And then we also have Jay on for the first time. Would love for her to share. Krista, if you feel open, please put your names in the chat if you guys would like to say a few words to the group tonight. I do see some amazing friends that have signed on, but I don't see their video on. And maybe you're joining us for the first time, so welcome. I'm Melanie, I'm your hostess. I host this webinar every single Thursday like clockwork, and I will continue to do so no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing. And if I'm traveling the world, you can bet that I will still make sure I find a way to get on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursdays. So thank you again for all of our guests. Without you, this dream could not be possible to create this amazing collaborative model for people to connect and collaborate and build community and come together and make positive world change. And it's taking place right now. So without further ado, Caleb, if you'd like to come on and just share your why, a bit about who you are and what attracted you to this webinar and what you've experienced from it so far.
Well, started actually development a little company called Greenworks Power Solutions several years ago and started development. And I was very fortunate to end up meeting Patrice actually, which was really amazing. And we actually started learning, trying new things, and that's typical science. Try and see what sticks to the wall. And so, you know, we started with a flow of the river turbine, and we found out, hey, you know, these systems are modular, and we ended up going also into wind, and we realized it's scalable, it's really scalable. And we just kept learning and adapting. And so like our main goals was sustainability, not just energy sustainability, not just food sustainability, but how to make everything integrate. And just like our ecosystems, how everything meshes together. And so instead of trying to make one thing coexist, realizing that, you know, it is an ecosystem and many things can coexist simultaneously. And that was one of the biggest things that we found. And just like this channel, you know, all different people have different like minds, different aspects from everything from building architecture to housing to communication to everything from health to even from physical health, mental health, and even food security. So it's amazing how, all those aspects, they all integrate. And that's the truest thing about the world we live in, is that everything is affected by everything else.
Very well said, very well said. And right now, and I'm just going to touch quickly on mindset, it's really critical right now for you to plug yourself in to people that have positive mindset. And it's another reason why I created this channel, because I'm a Bob Proctor graduate. In fact, I finished his program last year, and it's actually worth more money to me than both of my college and university diplomas, because it taught me one thing. And one thing that I know that works, and it works like a charm, and that is to control your thoughts and keep your thoughts focused on positive things and where you want to go in the future, and also keep your thoughts on things that are helpful, and you can create the future you want by just changing your thoughts. And where you are right now is where your thoughts were, I would say 6 months ago, but you can't really put a timeline on it. But your thoughts are like magic, so choose them wisely. And a couple of things that I've also experienced over the last little while is, because the pandemic has felt me like I've had a little bit of cabin fever, right? But Kathleen, actually, who was on the call earlier, anytime you want to get into really good vibes, you can actually calibrate yourself too, just by tapping. So just doing a gentle tap, whether it be on your wrist, your pulse, your collarbone, anytime you're feeling like you just need to calm yourself down. And it does work. You should do it for about 60 seconds. So passing that technique on to other people is a gift. And it's great to see new people on here tonight that have never joined our podcast. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome, Serena. Welcome, Jay, of course, who is a fantastic soul sister. And also for the loyal folks that come on every week, Robert, Stephen, Raymond, and Wendy, of course, who is definitely a big part of this with her environmental passion. I care for each one of you truly, and I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight. And we want to know truly like what we can do to be of service and make a difference for you. So without further ado, I know Lou's had his hand up. Then what I'm going to kindly ask is anyone else that wants to go after Lou, if you could please type your name in the chat. Raise your hand, raise your virtual hand, because I know Lou put his virtual hand up. So if you figure out how to use the virtual hand, if not, we can show you. And Lou, did you want to go ahead?
Yeah, Tensei. When the earth is sick and dying, there will come a tribe of people from all races that will come together, put their faith in deeds, not words, and make this world green again. It's good to be on this call with Melany hosting, and I had a very good call with Khalib, and then when I see Patrice there, I said, oh, he's part of the email and the group that they sent to us, and we're very interested in his wind turbine that is able to gear up. We're looking at 1 megawatt is the one, the piece that you like, and he says, well, we could do 500, and I said, well, it works good, and it's a lot better than the 3 blades that never pay for themselves. His technology seems really, really good. And so we're very interested in working with him, and I think it's a startup company, but if we can work together and make it happen, then we're very interested in doing that. Now, I just want to mention that we not got to know where we came from and how we got here and how come it's all messed up. So, in 1848, Indigenous people of Canada, HBC was acted on a UFRAC capacity. UFRAC is a limited real right found in civil law and mixed jurisdiction that unites the two property interest and user. FRECUS, users, is the right to use and enjoy thing possessed directly without altering it. Its capacity has no right to sell the land and did not own the land. 1885, Métis leader Louis Riel pointed out the HBC had no right to sell the land and did not own them. The Hudson Bay Company established a trading code, Lac Lenon, in 1800s, and my middle name is Samuel, and Samuel Najo was the first Métis president in Lac Lenon. So, we're looking at how, we came to this point where, they took the land and just said, and you were supposed to use it, be able to grow on it, and then they sold it. So with Truth and Reconciliation, we have to go back and say, how come? We got a bridge down here called Reconciliation Bridge, and they says they took the truth out of it. So very interesting working with everybody as a team, and with Patrice and Khalib. And then we have also a gentleman that has the hydroponics. What's Colin Hall's hydroponics? This is Dennis. He's with Global Ocean Group with us. And he, so maybe just talk about Colin Hall's technology, his greenhouse.
Well, number one, Colin is licensed with the Alberta government. He took the courses and whatever it's safe, not safe, out of Edmonton. They have a research center, and then also in Brooks. And he's been qualified or educated with those institutions. So he's quite capable of doing anything with aquahydroponic. And aquahydroponic can be grown anywhere in North America, even temperatures and whatever. And we have to become more sustainable, mainly because you take the malnutrition on the Northern Reserve, the Eskimos and whatever. It's all great to hunt and fish, but those two items are very acidic. And, anything to do with meat, anything to do with fish is very acidic. And if you eat too much of acidity, you have to go more into fruits, vegetables, and to bring your body back to alkaline. And in an alkaline body, cancer does not grow in an alkaline body, but it'll grow into an acidic body. So this is where it's very important to have an alkaline. Now I have a chart of what you should eat to be alkaline, and it's approximately 60% vegetables versus call it 30%, 35%, i.e. meat and fish, and these items that are very acidic. And again, I could get Lou to send that out.
Yeah, so what we're interested in is solar, wind, biomass, cogeneration systems, geothermal, fit into a microgrid to put into the vertical farming to grow the food. And so with that, we have finance hopefully coming to make all that happen. And so if it does, then we can go on to the next stage for sure.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful projects. And whereabouts are you gentlemen located?
Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, Alberta. I got to make a trip to the Rocky Mountains. My grandfather was—
I'm on the Bow River, so I go biking every day along the Bow River, and I just finished having my seniors ski pass, and it was $300, and after you used it 3 times, it's paid for, and I did 12 times.
Oh, it sounds like a dream. I actually need to travel to Alberta.
Yeah.
I need to travel to Alberta this year, actually. I'm going to be making a road trip to come through to Alberta because I need to see all my Alberta contacts and people that I know out there that have relocated out there, or just people, one of my mentors actually lives out there. And so I'm looking forward to coming and meeting all the Alberta people face to face. I'm going to be driving across Canada, and I want to go to the Rocky Mountains where my grandfather was born. And I've never actually traveled to Alberta for pleasure. It's always been for business. So I look forward to going and meeting everybody in relationships. So it looks like we've had some more people join us. So we're going to keep this party going. We've got, welcome Dawn, and we've got Richard. Welcome Richard. We have, of course, Jillian still on with us. Great to see you, Jillian. Andrew Lyons, of course, who's listening in the background. And Jay is going to go next. So thank you to everyone who's shared so far. What I've done is I took the liberty of creating a spreadsheet with everybody's contact information on it that comes onto the webinars, and people can actually add their own contact information into the Google document if you so choose. Because after these calls, I get messages saying, could you please send me all your contact information for the people that were on your webinar. So this actually acts as a place where you can just access it. You don't even need to contact me. It's all there for you so that you can stay in contact with these like-minded people that you're cultivating these relationships with on Thursday nights. So without further ado, I'm very pleased to have Jay on with us tonight, who's joining us from the Okanagan. And I feel like Jay is definitely a soul sister, to a very similar purpose in life and why I resonate with her story so well. And I'm not gonna tell her story for you because she's got a strong one of her own. But she inspires me, and I'm grateful that you're here tonight with us, Jay, and that you got your Wi-Fi working. It's great to see your beautiful face. So please, if you could share, this is your first time coming on, so maybe you could just tell us a bit about yourself. I know you've had a very, very interesting journey, and definitely have survived and overcome, and now you're thriving. So we want to definitely hear your beautiful story. So if you could, it's a powerful one, because I know you've been through a lot and you've overcome a lot of challenges, and here you are. So thank you for joining us.
You know, hi guys, hi everyone. I actually don't often feel quiet. It's not my sort of normal state. I'm usually quite chatty, but I have to tell you that hearing everyone speak tonight, I'm really it's kind of ineffable what I'm experiencing. What Mel created here, and what an awesome group of humans. And I'm truly, Richard's blending a blender drink. That a boy, stay healthy, Richard. And I kind of I'm in a really receptive mode, to be really honest right now. I'm taking all of you in, and I'm just really amazed at what you guys have created here as a community. And I guess I want to start, it goes a little bit cheap. We've moved out to 66 acres, and we are living on the river. There's a mile front of waterfront here, and we're going homesteader. So we've got chickens and bunnies, and we're growing gardens and working towards building a community. I get super excited about what Caleb has to share, and super excited. I mean, I'm blown away by Sherry, what you're doing on the floor when you were speaking. All of you, really. So I look forward to getting to know you all. This is definitely not the last time I'll be on here. So I will give a very brief overview. I think I'll start with sharing about, because that's what I see happening here. It's in such a way, is this, you know, what I call co-factor, this co-creative, collaborative, conscious space where people come together as visionaries to build this new earth, as Jillian was sharing, and what that looks like. And I'm really actually, by accident, I assure you, I've become a systems person as to how we do that. So it's one thing to sort of all of us want to have talking about that systems through which it's really great, the changing really quickly.
Hey,
so I'm very excited about. Yeah.
You're breaking up just a bit on the video. Maybe if you go like it, I don't know if you can turn. Okay, that works too, but we love to see your face.
Should we try that?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Well, I apologize.
Much better.
Okay, good. I really do apologize. I was supposed to have satellite internet by now. So the pros and cons of living in the boonies, right? And Melanie the other day, my internet was breaking. I'm really out of where it's an amazing experience as well. So what happened a couple of years ago, and I think we've all had these, you know, breakdown to breakthrough moments, probably multiple times in our life. But I've had two near-death experiences, and they really have impacted so deeply the way they interact with life. And those are those saying, I kind of wish that everyone could have that experience, because it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. One of the gifts it gave me was really understanding the power of the time that we're in. And like Melanie said, the mindset that we approach the time that we're in. And those of us that feel the call right now, it's so strong. We know that the call is to take action and to move forward in community and in collaboration. So right now we're collaborating from to creating community, to
it's definitely breaking up a bit. Keep going.
Oh, dang it. Anyway.
No, keep going.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Just chopping in and out, but we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So the blessings of technology technology. So, we're being encouraged to get to the land. So with the land, I think the most powerful thing I'm experiencing is the relationship that, we really have become quite disconnected. I even speak for myself. As much as I love nature and I love being out in thriving areas, it's so easy in this technological age and this digital age to have too much of that and not enough connection. And so to create a community that's done both, we're building both a hybrid community that is an online community for change makers, and it is also an offline community where we'll be building eco-villages around the globe, a work share program. So how Thrive School works, which is something that was downloaded to me in a moment of how can I be of service moment, on the floor, pick me up with a forklift kind of moment. Thrive Tribes Global came through. So a very surrendered vision, and it's moving at breakneck speed right now because we're all ready we're ready to address the problems, to look at them, be aware of them, and then to shift the focus onto the solution. So Thrive Tribes Global is a change maker platform. We're building it on the blockchain. For a lot of you, that may be a term you're familiar with. It's kind of Internet 3.0. It's a decentralized movement, or what we refer to as a decentralized autonomous organization. And it's based on the systems that create the change, but it's definitely, run, the currency is the people. We are creating a Thrive coin that will fuel the economy, that will allow us land share opportunity into physical metals, so physical assets and things where we can build our wealth. And the goal and the mission really is to get wealth into the hands of the light workers, into the hands of the people that are doing projects like Sherry, that have visions for humanity, that are difference makers. And the blockchain we're building is for change makers. So it's a really big vision. Sometimes, when I look at my 3 children, I feel like that's enough. Sherry, good on you that you've got 4 and you're doing what you're doing. It's a whole other world to do the work we do with children in tow. So we really weaving in the children into the vision, which means learning entrepreneurial skill sets for the children, biology this summer, archery, alternative forms of education, weaving in, again, the online aspect that's so vital, but the offline aspect of bringing people together in physical contact and getting them connected with the land. So I get really excited about talking to Caleb and hearing about what you guys are doing, because we're looking at systems, eco-villages that really are fully off-grid, using new energy technologies, abundance and information technologies, transformation technologies, and we're really looking to build that new earth, now, like Melany was talking about, by bringing what everybody has on the table together. And I think transformation's fun. So the whole idea is that we want to have a lot of fun doing it. And I know Melany brings that to the table, and I'm so delighted to be here to be able to share in, I think, what can be viewed with a shift and a reframe as a very celebratory time. It's a very challenging time, but it's also a time where we see some breakthroughs, because we're being asked and feeling the call to re-envision what's possible for humanity, and to live into that vision, and to live into what's possible for our total human empowerment. So I'm delighted. I would like to just acknowledge Don Jackson, who's part of my tribe, who's here, who's joined me this evening. And he works with me at the podcasting level, and he works at the level of the I Am. So we work a lot with I Am Thrive. And so he works a lot with us on the affirmation level and holding space. So the fact that he's here holding space, just a brother, I'm super, super grateful you're here. And he's a good man. So it's like good, awesome humans coming together. And I would invite those of you interested in joining collaboration. If you want to collect on brain, definitely, contact me and reach out to me. And we are moving towards the documentation. I'm a filmmaker by sort of trade. And so we're looking at documenting the journey. We think that that's really important. We don't really know, there's no manual for this. We haven't been before, but a really beautiful time in history to show what this looks like when we have the courage to step away from the way things have been in the vision of something new.
That is absolutely incredibly beautiful. And I actually have tears of joy in my eyes right now because it's definitely something that I think a lot of people on here resonate with. I know I personally do, and I think everybody's in awe because last week we actually talked about how the blockchain and the coin were the missing piece to what we've already started to create, because there's lots of people that have been on this journey with us that are not on the call tonight. At least 100 to 200 people that are part of this group but are not on the call with us, because different people come on every week, and we've been talking for weeks now, Jay, about exactly what you're doing. How do we monetize this? How can we have a tokenization? Patrice has talked about it. Caleb's talked about it. Robert, who's on this call, has talked about coming together, and many others actually. Joy Case is even very much into this space as well, and I know she's going to be doing a presentation in a few weeks from now. And you're a gift. And I can resonate with your two near-death experiences because I was saved from a roll-to-roll end-over car accident in 2011, April 11th, 2011, 1111, which is a magical number for me. And my head was cracked open from my brow line to the back of my skull, and the car was upside down and crashed on top of me. And I remember the guy that got into the car, he crowbarred me out and he dragged me out of the car. Sorry, it's an emotional story. And I just looked at him, and he was Muslim actually. And I started to hug him and kiss him, and he's like, no, no, no. I just remember him saying, because they don't like, from that culture, that women kissing them and hugging them, especially if they're married and stuff like that, they get kind of, it's not good. But I was like hugging him like for dear life. I'm like, you saved my life. Like, I was trying to get to work. I loved my job at the time. I was doing marketing and sales. I was working for Leslie Still Fine Foods. You folks may know Leslie. She's a famous chef, very gifted and talented woman and entrepreneur. Created the fine foods and organic food movements in Vancouver, and then took it into chains. So I was working, and I loved my job. It was probably my favorite job that I've ever had, besides working at a university and the Knowledge Network. But I just was so grateful to be alive, like so happy to be alive. And I'm like, I have so much life left in me, so much life left in me. Let me go. And I was saved, and then I was saved this last year on March 3rd. I had surgery, just like you've experienced two near-death experiences. And I miraculously survived my surgery. My surgeon said, you came out like a champ, you recovered. Your recovery is like, I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like this. And I had early stages of breast cancer and was able to survive that and fight it out of my system by drinking Kangen water. Actually had Patrice come over from the island to go through my kitchen cupboards and everything and go, this is good, because he studies this and also has survived cancer as well. And I'm just so grateful, Jay, that you're here. And I know that we met through a different business, but I knew that there would be a day where our souls could collide. And I resonate so much with you. And I feel like, I know this is going to sound, for some people that are on here that are just straight business people, and I love you to bits, and this may sound a little bit too stars and moon for you, so please forgive it if it does. But my nickname is Stars and Moons, and I definitely do believe that I'm here to shift this planet. I definitely have a really strong vibration, and my energy is very, very powerful. And I'm grateful that I can be part of this change and part of this movement. So please, however I can be of service to you, these folks would support, I'm sure will support your tokenization system and whatever we can do to be of service. I know Patrice has his hand up. I think he was inspired by your speech too. And again, thank you from my heart to yours for sharing this beautiful energy with us. And yeah, it's really, really received. And Patrice, did you want to go ahead? I know you've had your hand up for a little while, and I don't want to hog the microphone.
Actually, it's a compliment to both of your speeches here, and it goes on to the health and the cancer part of it. And I want to step back a little bit because there are a few things that were tackled or mentioned that were very much in line with all this. What's important is that even if you have a death diagnosis or a very grim diagnosis to cancer or an ill disease, that the chances of being able to heal from it are extremely high. number one, you need to tackle your belief systems and what has gotten you into that position in the first place. And second is definitely to get rid of what causes dis-ease in the body. And I separate the two words because it is not at ease, right? And there are two major causes of disease, and that's toxicity and malnutrition, mostly undernutrition. And they both kind of weigh onto each other. And I don't know if you've allowed me to share the screen there, Melanie. I just want to show a couple pictures to show people the
Absolutely.
miraculous healing that can happen.
What I'm going to do actually is just make you the host.
How about co-host that way?
Yeah, I'll just make you the host that way. There's no.
Excellent. I just want to show people just a couple pictures here that totally relate to what
If
we're
anybody
talking about
knocks
here.
people might knock on the door, so you just have to check it from time to time, but you're good to go.
We'll do so. I'm not going to be very long here. I just want to step back and show you guys my transformation, which actually pales in comparison to my wife's. This was 16 years ago. The picture on the left was me, 90 pounds heavier than I am now. My liver and my kidneys were failing. I wouldn't be able to see your eye color from like 2 feet away. My mind was foggy and I was in very bad shape. And my doctor told me I had to be on cholesterol pills the rest of my life, et cetera, et cetera. So Lou Means mentioned, had his partner talking about an alkaline body, which is critical. And to take it one step further, most people don't know this, but our bodies are actually electrical in nature. Everything is held together by electromagnetism and electricity. That's all the minerals and everything else after that is translated into biology, which acidosis, and all these things are actually created through acid, exactly like a battery. So to get to true health, you need to become alkaline, but you also need to build the electricity in your body. My wife is the part I want to just mention really quickly here. My wife was born an eczema baby. She's in the at Sick Kids Hospital in Ontario. She's in the medical journals there as a study person for how bad the eczema was. And you can see the progression here. In 2005 is where she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer that had spread to her pelvic bone and was given less than a 50% chance of living 2 years. Sunnybrook Hospital had a series attached to them that did television shows called Heartbeats. They made a 3-part series on her that I can make available to people to watch if they want, and explains the story and the journey that it went through. So when she was given a diagnosis, I went through literally the grieving process of becoming a widower. I mean, these are things you need to contemplate for your life. So it started to bring out a lot of questions. How does this happen and why? And going back to the previous picture here, I took it upon myself to become my own lab rat. And I started to go plant-based. I started to employ a lot of minerals, and I started to ground myself to the earth. Once I learned about the electricity in the body, miracles happened. Within 3 months, my eyesight became eagle vision. After 3 months, my weight started to pile off. And that body that you see on the right-hand side is literally not from exercise. It is really by giving the body what it needs to repair itself.
Hallelujah.
So as you see my wife here, through her journey through cancer, the first shot of chemo stopped her heart in front of me. So she could not proceed with the treatment. So it gave us a really hard decisions to deal with. But after she saw my transformation starting to happen, she goes, okay, I'm interested. I really want to know what's going on here and what you're doing. And she hopped on the bandwagon. And this is her this many years later in 2017, and she still looks the same. Sunnybrook Hospital considers her a miracle cure. And the funny thing is that Heartbeats, the television series, refused to do a sequel to show the healing because it wasn't part of the business model of the sick care industry. So I love the medical industry for surgeries and trauma care, but when it comes to long-term health and well-being in the body, they're not there. They're there to alleviate your symptoms. You need to take control of your body and learn how to do so yourself. So I work a lot with the Indigenous communities of the North, and I coach people on how to reclaim your health, as well as a little bit of life coaching that I've learned over the years. Because when you start to go through these transformations, you cannot help yourself but to become, let's call it, enlightened, awakened, and connected to a higher power, and it seems to guide you in the right direction. And what I found, including what we see in this meeting here, is that we are all on the same wavelength. And it's funny how we all kind of gather together and with the same goals in mind. And essentially, we are seekers. So I can stop sharing my screen now because really we are done with this particular portion. But as you can see, that
Whoa.
miracles can happen in the body. And when miracles happen in the body, it offers a lot of hope. And people need to see by example, because that's what's inspirational. The people that helped me heal were actually, and my wife were actually Joe Dispenza, Bruce Limpton, Bob Proctor. Started the movie The Secret, then What the Bleep Do We Know? And these are just doorways to open. And if you saw my book library, you'd be astounded how many books I read on the subject to get things going. I used to be what I called, actually what we all called up north in Ontario, is people from the city. We used to call them Cityots. I was a classic Cityot that didn't know any better, didn't know about connections to nature on a deeper level or food and so on. I was indoctrinated into society like everybody else. But when you have a traumatic situation in your life, you reinvent yourself. Everybody can reinvent themselves. And for you, Jay, who had two near-death experiences, Melany, you can totally relate. And I'm sure other people here have their own skeletons in their closet. We all do. And it's very important to be able to deal with those in a good way. And we have to learn it for ourselves. We cannot rely on other people. We have to take control. That's why I had to chime in on these, because they're passionate topics of mine, as you can probably tell. And I really wish healing on for everyone. And Wendy Joe's another incredible healer and activist on the health and nutrition part. So it's a really good team here. I'm really happy to meet all of you.
Thank you so much, Patrice. You're an angel, and actually you've changed my life, because when I met Patrice, I was still holding on to a lot of really dark energy. And he said, you know what? I have some things that I really think I should show you, Melany, that will really help you with letting go of the past and things that have happened to you, traumatic experiences. And ever since I've been following his lead, he definitely has shifted my mindset. And because you know what the funniest thing is I always chased money, but I could never have true abundance. I could never have true abundance. So I was able to make a bunch of money and wealth, but it never really made me happy. And then I was chasing money and I was living this life. And it was so interesting because I got to the point where I just literally let go and let God, and went to this phase where this is the life that I want. And these are the types of people I want to be surrounded with. And then all of a sudden it was like a higher power other than myself just started putting all this stuff in my life, and all these miracles started happening. Some people talk about this as the law of attraction. Divine source energy, God, this is what I believe is performing miracles in my life. And I'll never be able to explain it to anyone that hasn't experienced it, but I can literally think about something and it'll show up in my life the very next day. As long as I'm in my true energy and true to myself and my heart, then things start to flow. If I'm somebody fake or trying to just go after money in life and more business deals, nothing good will happen. And I've experienced this. And it's interesting because I think that money amplifies who you already are as a soul. And I think that we should mark this day in history, because I think everybody on this call is going to make massive wealth this year by collaborating, by coming together, by helping one another, by doing all of these things. And rightfully so, because it's putting money into the right hands. Could you imagine if all of us were multimillionaires / billionaires, how this world could get amplified? Mm-hmm. Wealth is just a time where you have to come to this realization of self and who you truly are before you can implement all of this. Because I'm sure that, Tesla, he was on the Saturday Night Live show, right? He was talking about how he bought his mom Dogecoin and stuff like this. We are all going through this phase right now where we're in a digital era, and digital currency is a hot topic. And I think a lot of us on here are involved with it to some capacity. And if we're not involved with it, we have to get curious about it and say, how can we use this time in our history for the greater good? And I mean, I have no problems paying taxes on any cryptocurrency that turns into money rendered and following things by the book and doing all that stuff. But any wealth that I have, I promise, I told everyone on this call a few weeks ago, I will put 10% of it into charity. until the day that I die, if not more. I want to start a charity to give to less fortunate kids, because kids are innocent and kids deserve to have a proper childhood, to have money for sports that their parents can't pay for. Every child has a right to experience a good childhood. That's a charity that I want to create, is for kids that are less fortunate. Everybody on here has their why, but I just want to tell you that it's part of this vision of this group that we're all wanting that. So we could go on and on about all of our projects. I wanted to just say thank you, Patrice, for sharing, Stephanie, and your journey. It's empowering and it's empowering and exciting to see where your leadership in this area as a master, someone who's taken the time to do all this research, will evolve to over the next few years. And I'm excited to be on this journey with you, because I know you have a lot of inside knowledge. Like I have a bag of spirulina, which Richard, I think he's still on this call, got me, which has been helping with my thyroid function. And Patrice has other supplements like this that we can make. So like our dream, right, is to have this organic farm, which Jay's already on the farm. So we get more farmland and we do like a franchise model. And we have like these organic meals that we're creating on the farm, gate to table, right? I can put my culinary bone to work, because I'm a fantastic cook. I would love to cook for everybody on here at some point in the future. Everyone that works on these farms gets free food. That's my promise to everyone that ever works on the farms. But the goal was, and we have investors for this, but we want to collaborate. We want the right people on this too. But like the goal was to create these meals and have them be able to be delivered to people to their homes in electric cars, like the little electric cars, the solo powered cars. And they're all made with sustainable and reusable packages, right? So that when your next delivery comes, we'll pick up the old stuff and reuse it. So it's a formulation for reusing things. I'm somebody who likes to constantly, like, I'll wear clothes till they fall apart. I've driven the same Toyota. I could go buy a brand new car right now, but I've driven the same Toyota for the last 7 years. It's my sporty little Toyota. I just like to refurbish things, and I don't like to take a lot of waste, and I like to recycle everything. And anyways, I'm rambling on. So I should probably what I'll do is I'll let Krista, I know, wanted to go, but I just wanted to say that each and every one of us are definitely masters in our own lane. For me, my gift is just bringing the right people together, and I will continue to do that, and I will continue to cultivate this, and I will continue to bring new people on every week, and I will continue to grow this, and I will continue to evolve with all of you. So that's my vision, and I know it definitely is one that resonates with everyone, and I resonate with all your visions so far, so keep it going. And in that sense, I know Krista's been waiting patiently to go. Krista, do you want to go ahead and maybe you could say a few words about how we met, what you've enjoyed so far from this webinar, and of course your why. We want to hear a little bit about you. And then anyone that hasn't gone yet, I see Andrew Lyons is on here. Dawn, you're welcome to share. Just type your names in the chat or raise a virtual hand, and I'll look for anyone who wants to go after Krista. But Krista, if you wanted to go ahead.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Melanie. It's funny because I was writing a couple notes as everyone was talking, and I joined this because I was connected to Melanie through a different group, Kathleen, who was here briefly earlier, and I had actually met a lady that came over and gave me a massage because my guy canceled, and then she connected me to Kathleen, who brought me to Melanie. And I just believe everything happens for a reason, right? If my guy would have still been available, I wouldn't have met any of these lovely people. And you know, everyone who spoke, I'm extremely blown away and just blessed that I decided to join tonight. Something told me it was a good idea. You know, I'm not here to pitch anything, you know, because I'm a recruiter and my business is a little different than all of this. But I'm honestly just here because I'm looking for peace of mind and change and knowledge in all aspects of my life. So I know Melanie said earlier that, you know, wealth comes, we don't have to like look for it. And I do believe in that. And, you know, I also love your charity idea about kids. That's like a massive passion of mine. We could talk about later. But yeah, I mean, my biggest reason I came was to hear about, you know, everyone's ideas and what's going on, and just, you know, future forward and things like that. And I'm really interested in sustainable energy. And I have a ton of clients too that are hiring for that. So it is always something that I like to stay on the forefront of, and I can always learn more. And then I'm also curious on crypto. It's been something I want to learn more about as well. But I do believe, like I said, that, you know, everything's connected. A bunch of us have mentioned things similar to law of attraction. And I've been seeking change from my mindset and my thinking. And I'm in a program with a really amazing author who lives in Canada, and she practices a lot of Abraham Hicks's, you know, I guess, what would you call them, like sayings and analogies. And so I was on a program with her earlier, and someone gave me some amazing, you know, affirmations of letting go and stop asking for the same thing and allowing it. It's hard for type A people, but I'm on a, you know, journey to improve my mindset and my health. And I used to have eczema. So when he showed me that, I was like, wow, I'm looking to get rid of negative energy, and I've been holding it in my stomach. And I'm like, why won't it go away? So I love the reclaiming the health, and that miracles do happen in the body, because the last 5 years I've yo-yoed like 30 to 60 pounds every year. It's like I get it off and then it comes right back, and I can't seem to find a balance. So yeah,
I'd
that
love to
was
help
kind of
you out
long.
with that.
Perfect. Yeah. And so I'd love to talk to you more, but this has been incredible. And Jay, what you're doing is awesome. I already found you and followed you on Facebook. So thank you guys for having me. That was kind of long-winded, but this just really spoke to me. So thank you guys.
It's beautiful, Krista. One thing I can tell you about, yes, thank you so much for opening your heart. One thing I can tell you about weight is I believe in my heart that weight, your body weight, is directly connected to your thoughts, because I do yoga and I do speed walking, where before I used to run and I couldn't lose a single pound to save my life, no matter if I ate just one salad a day. Now I eat what I want, but only eat when I'm hungry. But it's because of my thoughts, because my thoughts are calibrated to, I live in a healthy body, and I'm fit, and I'm healthy, and I'm at my goal weight, and I'm healthy, and I love and accept myself. And when I go into those thoughts, because I was once about 60 pounds heavier myself, but I was also in a relationship with somebody, and we can talk about this topic all day long, but I just want to say that everything in your life is thoughts. So just try recalibrating your thoughts, because the reason sometimes is because our thoughts sometimes are out of balance. And women are definitely emotional creatures, much so more emotional than men. But mind you, some men are emotional too, and that's amazing. But just, we have a lot of hormones and things that need to be regulated. All I can say is your weight is directly related to your thoughts. It's not necessarily related to how many calories you consume or how much you pound yourself doing these boot camp classes and exercise. But I can tell you that since I switched to yoga, changed my mental status, started meditating, and actually started loving my body and doing positive affirmations in my mind, because I'm just going to give an analogy. When I was in an unhealthy relationship, I was overweight, and I was picked on by my partner because I was overweight, no matter how much exercise I was doing. So I was constantly thinking about being overweight. So then I just became more overweight. Whereas now I think I'm slender. I'm grateful for my healthy body. I don't have cancer anymore. I'm not 25 anymore. And I'm healthy, and I can fit into a size 6 when I was once a size 13, 14. So I'm grateful for all of that. So I just try to keep myself in a very good, healthy mindset. And I have my treat day once a week, and I eat whatever I want. But the majority of the time I do stick to organic fruits and vegetables. Like Patrice we both have diets we can send you. And I'm learning from Patrice too, because he studied this stuff, and it's a whole other topic, definitely for another show. I want to be respectful of people's time. We've been on here for over an hour. It's been amazing, because it's been an incredible webinar so far. I know that there's other folks on here that have not had a chance to open up yet. Andrew
We have
Lyons.
Stephen who wants to speak.
Sure, Stephen. Andrew Lyons, I know you haven't spoken yet. If you're there, Serena, Dawn, we'll maybe go right to Stephen, and then I'll look for names in the chat group that come up.
I just want to say one quick thing. You know what's really good about this meeting and touching on sensitive topics with people is that we're all calibrating to each other. We're all kind of breaking the ice very quickly and understanding our deeper selves and what we've been through. So this is good. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's definitely no mistakes. Every single person that's supposed to be on this call tonight is on this call. And the reason why the other people aren't on the call is because they weren't supposed to be on the call with us. It's plain and simple. So it's fine. It's all good. We're going to go to Stephen and then anyone else. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that little bunny. I want to cuddle that bunny. I have wild bunnies in my garden, but they won't come 2 feet within me, but I do leave little treats out in the garden for them. That is
so adorable.
the world. I want one.
I'm going to be turning off my camera so you don't see me stuff my face.
I'm
It's not rabbit I'm eating.
looking for a kitten, if anybody knows. But I always say the right cat will find me. Sorry, Patrice, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just super passionate about animals. Did we lose Patrice? He's still on here.
Yeah, he's got to go eat.
No, I'm still here. I'm just closing the camera and the microphone so you don't hear me stuffing my face. Sorry.
No problem. I know it's getting close to dinner time for some folks. So we're going to go to Stephen. And you're all ready for us, Stephen. Go ahead, please.
Hello, hello. And actually, I just want to sort of echo what Krista was just saying as well, because part of the joining the group is just the connections through Melany originally as well. But I am in a rediscovery journey because I come from the corporate side as well and enterprise software sales, etc. And I've always been a fit person as well. And I have a little bit extra now because of an injury. And so it's a combination of rediscovering on the spiritual side, rediscovering on the physical side, and also on the financial side. So this is what I like about this group. And what I'm finding so far is that we have a really good sense of cohesiveness from all of these. And because one of my goals is actually to support my family all around, because it's been a tough journey overall. And the mindset is a good chunk of that. On the physical side, I want to be able to run marathons again. So if anybody wants to join me in the future here, I have the Bordeaux Marathon as a goal. And but the main thing is the fact that what I really like, the sense of community, the sense of striving for something new and discovering things that people are doing differently and being able to incorporate that into your life. So, and thank you very much, Patrice, for helping me on that journey right away. And it's a good start. We'll be talking again soon. So very simply, that's pretty much all I really had to say for now.
That's great, Stephen. You've been a loyal person to this webinar series since it first started up. So I just want to say thank you for all your support. And it's fantastic to have you with us. Absolutely love your energy and was so grateful that was able to meet you when I was in North Vancouver. And quite honestly, you know, I'm grateful that I actually went to North Vancouver and lived in Lower Lonsdale there on the water for a while because I met all these amazing people and definitely ready to expand and fly. I'd like to be able to go through the Okanagan. I'd like to go to the island and visit Jillian and Patrice who are around Vancouver Island. I'd like to go through the Okanagan and come see Jay and of course meet Dawn as well and go to Alberta and see Lou and my other friends that live in Alberta and Andrew and you know, just make my global travels because I believe that it's time to spread my wings and fly literally and become this eagle in this life and branch out. And I'm ready for a road trip for sure I am. So just wanting to go through, oh, Raymond's got his hand up. And again, thank you to everyone for sharing and for the participation. For folks who haven't shared yet, we strongly encourage it. If you're just coming on for the first time and listening, you're welcome back every Thursday. We roll these out like clockwork, and I know that a lot of the people on here host their own events as well, which we will cover at the end of this podcast. If everyone can just let us know what we've got going on. We're going to go to Raymond. And Raymond, if you would like to, please go ahead, and another very loyal participant in our webinar series.
Well, hello everybody. Thank you, Melanie, for making me part of this group. Thank you, Robert, for donating so much of your time this afternoon, trying to help me talk some sense into a good friend who's having trouble signing on the dotted line to become part of our trading adventure. a little bit about me. I'm a gypsy by nature. So Kamloops, Kelowna, Richmond, downtown Vancouver, Squamish, Seychelles, Langdale, Whitehorse, Prince George. And then I kind of went off the reservation. I went to the United States, got a green card. Philadelphia, Phoenix, Denver, Colorado, Clearwater, Florida. I bounce around. Right now, I'm stuck here in Kelowna while I sort out some probate issues and get myself back on the road again. I got a car, but I don't have legal possession of it quite yet. And as you probably know, legal affairs and families and people expiring and not making proper provisions for distribution of assets and all that kind of thing can get kind of out of hand. So I'm kind of dealing with that. Why am I in this group? Because back in March of 2020, I managed to get myself fired from my day job. The day the COVID thing struck the industry paralyzed, so no chance of replacing my job. And I've been pivoting ever since then, trying to figure out what I'm going to do that's going to work. And I think finding Robert and trading is going to take my trading adventure to the next level. I've already got something of a background with options trading, but now we're going to dive into the wonderful world of foreign exchange, cryptocurrency, all that good stuff. But this is the place to be. So as an entrepreneur, my goal is to surround myself with like-minded people, and you're it. So I'm the big three things in entrepreneurship: wealth, relationships, and health. And I'm big on all three. I really am. Patrice and I have had some interesting discussions on two of those areas, and I'm sure we'll have more in the days to come. So I just love this group. I love being here. I love being on all the events, Satoshi Saturdays, Wealthy Wednesdays, the team meeting on Monday. This just fills my week up. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'll hand the microphone back to you. But before I do, everybody, we're all here together. Let's put our contact information in the chat. Let's reach out to Melany, make sure we've got access to that Google Drive database where we can put our contact information. Let's stay connected.
Yes, and you know what? I wanted to create a collaboration model where we know that everybody's on here for the greater good and we're not takers. It's clear to see that we're all givers. We're all contributing something to this team, and we all have strengths. We all have gifts. We all have built a lot of relationships over the period of our life, but we also have a lot of connections. And just imagine how beautiful it is if we can actually have those connections join forces for the greater good. And the creative wheels are always turning. Patrice and I have at least 3 to 5 calls a week to figure out how we can make this better, how we can extend it, how do we get more plugged in, what can we do differently, how do we keep it fresh, how do we keep it stimulating. This week was just like, let's speak from the heart. And you know what? This has been the best webinar that we've had since we had this podcast series. So that's because of your participation. So thank you again to everyone. And Raymond, I'm so grateful to have met you that day on LinkedIn when we started talking. I love LinkedIn because it weeds out a lot of the riffraff that's on the internet. I figure that LinkedIn is a professional network, so you're going to get people that have a little bit of business savvy, but maybe you'll find your heart and soul folks more on Facebook. I don't know. I like them both. I know TikTok's a new one. We actually have a girl on our team that has 53,000 followers on TikTok. and she's a #1 TikToker. She's a friend of Patrice's. She's not on here with us tonight, but she's a blessed girl, and I definitely want to see her do extremely well in life, because I know she has lots of potential that she hasn't tapped into yet. So I love to follow what I learned from Bob Proctor and Bob Proctor's teachings, and that is to always leave everyone that you encounter in your life and on your journey with the impression of increase, because we're here to be of benefit. And every single person that I've talked to on this webinar that has had one-on-one time with me, or that has spent time with me, or even worked with me in other projects, you've all touched me, touched my heart. I'm loyal to you, and however I can be of service. We have a lot of different skill sets, and mine definitely is people, power to the people. So, and mentors for myself personally growing up was Oprah Winfrey, because I loved what she said. She said, always know who you are, walk in who you are. And she said, basically that her life was, she beat the odds, and her life is basically what it is. So everybody is given this talent, that we're unlimited potential and unlimited creative energy, and there's no wrong or right. This is a open mind, free thinking webinar. And just looking around here, I know Richard hasn't spoke yet, Dawn, and just looking to see who else is on this webinar. I think Serena probably popped off. I might be getting a little late for her, but it was great to see her on the call. Krista's gone. Robert hasn't gone yet. So what I want to do is see if Andrew, Robert, and Dawn, if you guys are open to talking to us, if you feel like opening up. If not, it's okay. Dawn's like, put his thumb up. He's like, go for it. Okay, you go for it, Dawn. I'm going to ask you to unmute your microphone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I ask you to unmute. Yeah.
Yes.
Got
Okay.
it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Yes. Yeah. This is, yeah, like what you just said a while ago. Yeah. Yeah. Those who are meant to be here are meant to be. I'm a firm believer in that. And the reason I'm on, I got off work about an hour and a half ago. I'm working a lot, but Jay and I, oh my gosh, you already know it and you feel it, the energy that she gives out. Yeah, she is super, she's incredible. But yeah, her and I, yeah, we're collaborating in so many ways. Yes, with this. And yeah, everyone, yes, I'm all about like what she just, she mentioned earlier, the I am. And I'll share just a bit of my story. I spent 29 years in prison. I got out December of 2019, December 9th of 2019. And my transformation in prison was, it's like, it's just hard to imagine, where I was before, the consciousness that existed here, the selfishness, the greed and a lot of the stuff that happened in my early years, and how it fed into my actions and my thoughts and everything. But I first went in with all of that, this negativity, because I understand now I created everything. And I'm a firm believer that we are co-creators of our reality. Connecting with this within, knowing yourself. And so I've come to know myself. I studied extensively the occult, or the ancient mystery schools. I'm a Scorpio, so I dive deep. I question, and I just want answers. I seek knowledge and I seek truth. And so for me, the key is for I understand everyone is on their own journey. So understanding who and what we are is more than this physical body, and getting in tune with that, but from within. But and as I I've told Jay and others, members of our team, this is the seat of the soul within. This is the balance within the heart. And so, because I've experienced it, and I'm into yoga, the meditation, I'm just very, very, very spiritual. I'm really into the angels. I've had my own experiences with the angels. I know they're real. And so connecting with that I am, what Jesus speaks about, knocking on the door. The door is right here, going within, and so in love, I don't want to talk all, so long, but anyway, I've just got so much to share. And I know that, Jay and I connecting, to the podcasting course we were taking, and she interviewed me on her podcast, and our relationship grew, and I heard her story and what she's been through, and it's just amazing. And the people I'm connecting with now, this is something that I've put out, prayed for, I've meditated on, but yes, everything is energy, everything is frequency, vibration. What we put out is exactly what we get back. And so thriving individually in all areas of life, health, wealth, mind, everything, but understanding who and what we are as individual divine spirits, because within that soul, within the heart, is a divine spark of divinity. That I know I've connected with it. You let that light shine, and it's just a transformational process, because love is the key. That is our true essence. That is what we resonate to the highest vibration. That's God, by whatever name you want to, creator, divine being, that is who and what we are. And so we are here, yes, each and every one of us are here, and Thrive Tribes and so many others that are thriving, connecting, community. This is the new age. We are being bombarded right now with energies coming out into this planet, light workers. And so yes, this is momentous. This is absolutely essential for what we need on this planet right now. We've been bombarded by so much negativity, but it all comes from here. But
it's one of the greatest challenges, eh?
Excuse me?
Didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that's the challenges are the tribulations that happen on earth are challenges for our thought patterns. And
sure.
When you're talking about love is the ultimate frequency, it unites everybody. It's the strongest frequency out there. And your thoughts are all frequencies as well. Notice if you think badly, you start to feel badly. If you start to feel joyful and love, you start to feel better. They're all different frequencies of the same thing. Love and hate are just different opposites of the same thing. You can't know what's love and what's hate unless you understand the whole spectrum. I love your journey. I'd love to talk to you more.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting connected with more people, because that is what it's truly all about. Yes, and transformation, change, and change makers. And I love the idea what Jay has thought of, the changemaker coin, the crypto, because yes, that is the digital age that's coming, the age of frequency, of sound, and yes.
It's so true. And you know what, Dawn, it takes a lot of courage to share what you shared when you opened up. And I just want to say, in retrospect, sometimes we can be prisoners of our own thoughts. Like, there's been many years in my life that I've held myself accountable for other people's wrongdoings, or maybe I just got into the wrong car with the wrong people, or maybe I just surrounded myself with the wrong people for me, and then I let them affect my energy and affect me, and then I was carrying it around for so long that it became toxic. And it's interesting because I've had some massive shifts and releases lately myself. And I think that the biggest gift that we can give is to give forgiveness of ourselves, and then forgiveness of others. And I struggle with that at times, because there's a list of people that I don't want to forgive these people, but one by one, every time I forgive them, I become lighter. Every time I forgive myself for things and mistakes that I've made, I become lighter. And I made the best with what I had. I did not have an easy go in my childhood. And, we all have done things in our life that we look back and wish that we never did. But like, the power of now is so key. And it's like every minute that we know that God is with us and somebody's with us on our spiritual journey. And I call it, and my grandparents were Danish, but they used to call me Melania. And my grandpa used to say, Melania, if you're having panic attack like your mother, you just put your hand on your heart and you let Jesus come into your heart. And every single time I have any kind of panic attack or anxiety, because for me, I've been in action mode since I was 13. I've been in like, because I had to take care of my mom. She was very tiny and she was European and she was always sick, like in and out of the hospital with various health issues. And I know why God sent me to her, because I came to her late in life. I was her third child. It was a miracle baby because my mom was told no more kids. And she was my, I know why I was sent her. I was sent her to take care of her. But in a way, I became her mother even at a young age. The reason why I want to help children is because my childhood was interesting because I had to teach myself a lot of things. I had to teach myself how to be a parent at a young age and how to take care of my mom. And I started having garage sales and started to always be an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur right from the age of 6 years old. So it's in my blood to be an entrepreneur. I can't ever not be an entrepreneur because I had to succeed right from a young age. And it was basically you succeed and you go. And I talk about this with Wendy all the time. Like I've been literally in parasympathetic overdrive, even though I don't need to be. It's become a way of life for me. So I told her the other day, I went to the beach for 2 hours and I laid in the sand and I covered myself up with sand. It's the first time I've done that in probably 10 years, because I've always been driven on my businesses, working in business mode. How much more money can I make? How much more success can I have? I don't want to be competitive anymore because it never got me to the life that I wanted to have. I want to be collaborative because it brings me the beauty and the joy of this world and how we're created to be in harmony and make difference in people's lives. And I love collaboration. I don't want to do it alone, and I don't want to do it alone. And I want to have the right team. And to me, this is the right team. It feels great. And if we have other people in our circle that are like us, bring them on. Let's go. Let's build this big. Because I'm ready for change and I'm ready to step up to my role and not be afraid anymore. To be in my goddess power female energy. I'm tired of living in fear. I'm ready to bring it to me, like, let's go. And I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to show up and just show up for the game and just be real and be authentic. And things are happening like every day. It's like miracles. I've let go and I've let God, and more miracles have happened for me in my entire life.
Jay.
I'm gonna just let go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because how we circle back now to Robert, because he's been listening to all of us and he's waiting patiently. And Robert I've known for a long time, and he's an entrepreneur too. And we met each other at a Robert Kiyosaki event about 20 years ago. I've known him for a long time, and I've seen a lot of really big changes in Robert. I'm actually really proud of him because he's actually grown a lot, and he's stepped up and he's stepping into his leadership skills, and he's becoming like as such an inspiration for so many people, right? He has 133,000 followers on Facebook, but I've noticed a change in him. I've noticed a shift in him. And even since Robert's been joining us on these webinars, and I know he's got something to say because his hand's up. So thank you again for the courage that it took to share. And we're looking forward to having more of these webinars. And I'm kind of liking the flow of this. And I'm gonna test out the flow of this style just for the next 2 weeks. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually have people start doing full-on presentations to the group of their business models and how we can then collaborate and support more and bring people on for the specific project that you guys are working on, so that, you know, there's an old saying that runs true to me because I follow how the Indo-Canadian culture is. I have a lot of Indo-Canadian friends, being that I grew up in Surrey, British Columbia. And I love the way that they live their life because they help one kid get ahead in life and then they move on to the next kid. I think of this as like a community where we can do sort of the same thing, but like they all pool their money together, buy somebody a house, move on to the next house, buy somebody a house, move on to the next house. I like that analogy because I see it like this. Can you imagine if all of us took like $10,000 right now? There was basically 17 people on. I think we had 20 people on. That was our highest number. So that's $200,000 to buy a farm, land, right? This is what's called collaboration. We think that we have to have the money and everything on our own. What we need is an agreement that where everybody's happy, we're not greedy, we win together, we want wealth together, we want health together, all this stuff. We want to have that. And we just have to be really clear on what it is that we want, have our business plans, have our business pitches in line, and we can make magic happen. Like, there's a story called, Google it, it's called the 333 story. It was about a village that had experienced a hurricane, and they had to rebuild their entire village, and all the houses and the food and the families and the kids and everything. They had to help this whole village. And these 3 people locked themselves in a room for, like, I think it was 3 days, and they raised $3 million to save this city. It's an actual story. You can Google it. Bob Proctor actually talks about it on his podcast. It's the 333 story. So if those guys can do that, our mastermind group here, the energy that we have, the leadership we have in all different areas of life, we're mastering our lane, we're coming together, we're a force. We're a force, we're an entity, we're going places, we're moving through this galaxy. We are not getting afraid, we are not faltering. God is lifting us up on wings like eagles. He's chosen a select few for this task. Trust me when I say this is not coming from me right now. This is coming from source energy. You have been chosen, and God's been getting ready for you for this for your entire life. I'm telling you right now, it's true. So without further ado, I know Robert resonates with this. He's dying in his chair to talk. So I'm going to pass over the microphone. But Robert, I just want to say tonight that I'm so incredibly proud of you, of the transformation that you've made, and all the energy that you're bringing to us every week. It's great to have you on here. And thank you again to everyone. Every single person on here is so valuable, so valuable. You're all amazing people. So that's all I'm going to say right now. And I'm feeling the joy.
No, thank you for that, Melanie. And I want to return it back to you. I've also seen transformation in you and growth. That's amazing to watch. We've known each other for like so long now, and it's amazing. You know, when you're surrounding yourself with people that are supporting you, no matter what, through thick and thin, they want to see each other win. We're all helping one another, right? We heard it so many times today, like-minded, positive, like-minded, pushing one another. Sometimes you need a kick in the butt to get towards success faster, right? So it's useful to pick your family, because your circle, you become like the 5 closest people you spend the most time with, right? So, you know, not all of us have, you know, supportive relatives, and that's okay, because we have here a community that we selected, that we want to surround ourselves with. And I love everything I've heard today. You know, I actually love hearing all the stories of you guys. And so I'm not going to take too much time here. I just want to say, yeah, I've been here. I love hearing from all of you guys. And Melanie's absolutely right. We have to figure out ourselves, because sometimes our conditioning is holding ourselves back. We can be our own worst enemies. And so we need to get past whatever's stopping us to get to the next level. And I try to not compare myself with anyone else except for myself, right? It's sometimes okay to be a little bit competitive, but at the same time, moving forward together. There's a saying, you can go fast alone, but you can go further as a group. So it's all about, I always say with Melanie, 1 + 1 is 11. You get 10 times more done with the collaboration effort. So if you add up how many people there are on this call, it's literally 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. It's a million times more powerful. And I love that we mentioned the words mastermind, because this is exactly what it is. We're solving problems together. We're helping people get past their own fears. I love this community feeling. And it's definitely going to achieve a lot of things because of all the synergy we've seen here. It is amazing how much we have collaborations here, multiple collaborations going on simultaneously here. It's amazing. We just share a little bit. I love this format. When you have everyone talk 5 minutes about where they're at, what they're looking for, what are their goals, what are their skills that they can give back to the community. And this is really, really flowing perfectly when you have, you know, anyone can put their hand up at any time, which resonates with perhaps the prior speakers. So that's awesome. And, you know, it's definitely, we've heard about sustainable living, tokenization, all these things we've talked about, farming, getting our own food supplies and stuff. And I literally wrote down, I was laughing because you guys are literally reading what I wrote down. And I have nothing left to add other than, yeah, definitely reiterate that it's spiritual, body, mind, and wealth. And where I come into the picture is I can definitely help with the wealth side of things. And because, you know, we definitely have the thoughts leading to the feelings, leading to the words, leading to the actions. And actions are the bridge of what you're thinking about, what you believe and you conceive, and then you believe you can achieve. So this is a book. I don't know if the book is good, but I like the title. Rich is just the state of mind, right? So I also like that it stands for residual income creates happiness. So one thing I do to the communities, I do help people create multiple streams of income. Average Millionaire has 7. Raymond earlier mentioned about he's been trading options before, and I've read a book called Options. And when I read this the first time, I was already confused before I started reading. But after I read the book, I had 20 more questions than I started with. So I was more confused. Sometimes it's not good to not have a mentor or someone that's, you know, achieved certain levels at whatever you're trying to attain. So I love that we have all different varying skill levels here. By the way, we weren't selling any securities on this call. Melanie was just giving a hypothetical example of, you know, if we were to collaborate on a project or joint venture in the future, that's something that, you know, discussions can be had through proper avenues. But you know, I definitely, you know, I have other books here, and I don't think I've ever shown this to Melanie, but I have a yearbook here from my high school, and I was quiet, like I was shy. I wouldn't talk to anybody. Yet out of 350 students, about 20 students got voted at the end of the year, most likely to. And just to show you mine. Okay. So, you know, that's not being popular kid. That's not knowing anyone in high school. So it gives you a little bit of sense of, I've been looking at this for a long time. I've been around the block when it comes to doing different investments, finance, real estate. Yes, I was showing Melanie a long time ago about getting into real estate, and I ended up buying a lot of properties, doing a lot of trading in the markets. And, you know, we always have opportunities around us, small, medium, and large. It's all about being able to see those opportunities and then have the guts to take action on them. So as a group, it's much easier to jump on those opportunities. My strength, it just so happens to be, I don't know if you want me to share the screen, but it's basically just talking about what's happening in the world. My strength is seeing the economy, which I've been studying for 27 years. You know, they've got the bill S3571 happening right now, where basically this is the future. I heard someone, a few of you mentioned cryptocurrencies. So I just want to quickly show you that there are, you know, unprecedented things happening here. I've actually predicted multiple recessions, and I'm seeing that there's about to have the greatest transfer of wealth in human history just around the corner. Here you can see them printing 4 trillion into 18 trillion right before they discontinued telling in February how much money they're printing here. And this leads into this bill S3571. And what this represents is basically a new law that they were thinking about doing last year in March 23rd, the day the stock market bottomed last year. They said they want to introduce this bill that the Federal Reserve in the US will force everyone and businesses and people to have a digital wallet account in the US. So looking at the details, their plan for this to roll it out was to have this implemented. If you look at section 5B1, all Federal Reserve banks shall not later than January 1st, 2021, which is past us already, make digital wallets available for all residents and citizens of the United States and to businesses. So what I do now is I teach people, yes, I do indeed have a, for example, I have a group here that is for crypto or stock trading, 133,000 members. I've just last month on May 6th told that I'm creating a crypto trading group. That's still less than a month ago. And now that group has grown to over almost 2,000 people. So yes, I do have a group that teaches this, how to trade accurately. I've been doing it for a very long time. And so feel free to attend. I do have Saturdays. We do have an event happening. That's how you can attend for free. It's every Saturday at noon Pacific or 3 p.m. Eastern. So feel free to take a picture of that. Or definitely reach out to me on Facebook. I can add you to this group and stay in touch, because there's a lot of things happening, and my strength was even in this group. Melanie mentioned Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live. I actually streamed it live while he was talking. I warned people a week in advance that Dogecoin may drop after we saw the charts moving while he talked. I actually had talked about it several months earlier that it may go up. when it was around 5 cents, it went up to 70 cents. So it gives you an idea that I have a good grasp of what's happening around the world and in the markets, and I do share that knowledge for free, but you have to be there to attend, to ask questions. It's a very interactive community to do with the trading part of making money, whether markets move up or down. And I do help a lot of people grasp the idea on how to learn quickly. So you don't take 27 years like myself, because I did, I've been learning for a long time. I've actually been, since the age of 10 learning. 15 years old, I fired my financial advisor and I started trading Forex, crypto just for 6 years, but everything else for about 25 years. So you can see I wrote articles about these, been consistently accurate. Here I was predicting the recession back in 2007, a year before it happened. In 2018, I talked about the 50 top reasons why the market is about to crash. And, this is explaining what I see, when I see it, not just the direction things will move, but how far they can potentially move. More of an education based, but I have been invited to speak on stages at Canada Place. For example, talking about how I predicted the peak of 20,000 back in 2017, because I was on top of the regulatory environment, teaching people about crypto and blockchain, and also other meetings, also talking about real estate. I have actually a community that I was plugged into that when we were allowed to meet, that we were teaching them how I picked the #1 city in North America where prices went up the most over the last 5 years. And I had actually purchased 100 units there, so I was on the news for doing so. And now I teach people more about the trading because there's a huge demand. People want to learn how to do this. And I find that a lot of people are doing it blindfolded because they forgot to teach in school. So just to cut things short, I just want to say I now fill in that void by teaching people how to become the top 1% of traders, step by step, what I wish I had a mentor that taught me when I first started. And I basically take what it took me 5 years to learn for someone to learn in 1 day. So, it helps to have someone that can guide you and show you the ropes than just trying to figuring it out on your own. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to mention for today. Definitely reach out to me. Let's get in touch. Feel free to attend this event on Saturday. I'll be doing 1 hour of charting about cryptocurrencies. Last month, I had a really good month. I had actually anticipated that the crypto would fall 30 to 50%. And then I followed that up with a 50% increase by just teaching how to read the charts all last month. So those are countless things that happen, but I look forward to meeting each and every single one of you. By the way, feel free to sit down with me anytime if you have any questions about anything. I'm very reachable. I do have my schedule available right now. It's robertpaddock.com. So you just go, I'll type it in the chat, www.robertpaddock.com. Feel free to book me anytime and let's chat, because this is something that it's a passion of mine, doing it from a young age. And anyone can learn this. If a 10-year-old can do it, especially now I can show people the shortcuts, how to do that. And I'll just post that in the chat. So thank you for the opportunity to share. And I look forward to hearing more about your stories and see how we can collaborate and maybe do some joint ventures together and work together. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm trying to impact as many lives as I can during these times, because I saw, kind of what's happening, and I saw this coming, and I also have a good idea what might happen for the rest of the year, and not just how to survive it, but thrive during this time. Because having predicted a couple of recessions, I also know the best ways to prosper, not just protect yourself during these times and maximize the growth. So a lot of people these days are stuck or giving up, or they've been fired from their job because they were depending on a single source of income, and that's very close to zero. So what we're doing is we're showing people how to have hope. We're showing people how to actually have a plan of attack and actually get to the life they desire, their dreams, by simply just plugging in. Next week, I'm going to be bringing a lot of people onto this call. So I look forward to introducing them to Melany and working closely with her and everyone else in here. So please don't be shy. Please reach out to me anytime and let's talk. Let's see what we can do together.
Thank you so much, Robert, for your wealth of knowledge, and everyone else that participated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording pretty soon, and then we're going to just go into a casual open mic forum. Maybe this is a time for you to grab a snack, grab a glass of wine, use the bathroom, whatever you need to do. I'm just going to thank everyone for coming. Folks, I'm your hostess every single Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. please reach out to me through email if you want to gain access to the list of everybody's contact information. If you have not downloaded the app Telegram, it is a secure app that we can communicate on. Every single person that's on here tonight, I believe, is in that app, or if they're not, I can add you to the chat. So all you have to do is download Telegram and then text me and I'll add you to the group. And it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds over the next 6 months, because I know that we're on to something really good, really big. It's exciting. And even though we're on uncharted waters, I definitely feel that everything in my life that I've been through has brought me to this point in time. So I'm ready for it and ready to step into my leadership. And again, if you're worried about how to log on, you never have to worry, because you just have to remember my cell phone number, which is 604-300-4555. It's also the Zoom ID. I made it that way for a reason, and 555 has a very spiritual connection for me. I do see series of numbers, and that's another sign from the universe that you're on the right path. If you're seeing 111, 1333, it's just you're conscious. Those patterns of numbers have always been there to give us clues, but now that you're in the conscious alignment of the oneness of the earth energy and of the divine source, you're able to actually see those awakenings. Before, sometimes when we're trapped in toxic energy around negative people, around the things that are not right for us, we can't be open enough to receive the blessings that exist in every single day. So I'm wishing everyone here magical blessings, and I'm going to stop the recording in 1, 2, 3.